Welcome, everybody.
Hey, hey. Good boy, Tucker.
Work smarter where you want.
This is learning at its most fun.
Good morning and good afternoon to some. Thank you for joining me for yet another Best Practice Partner Spotlight with Redtail and Pulse360. Today, we are talking about 2 weeks of meeting prep, 2 weeks of meeting prep in just a few clicks with Pulse360 and Redtail CRM. So we all know that a tedious part of every advisor's week is prepping for upcoming meetings for the following week. Wouldn't it be nice if we could eliminate this tedious process? Maybe do so in just a few clicks? Well, I don't want to give you any spoilers, but today we're going to learn how we can eliminate some double work and save some clicks with Pulse360's enhanced integration with Redtail. Today, I'm joined by Anand. He's joining us from his house in Riverside, California. Anand is a co-founder of Pulse360, a company founded in 2019, with the goal of bringing automation to meeting prep and follow-up for financial advisors. Anand, welcome.
Thank you, Austin. Appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. So Anand, I just wanted to give a recap to kind of start things off with what is Pulse360 and how do you guys save advisors both time and money?
Sure. So our goal with the software is to help advisors automate and streamline the meeting prep process all the way to meeting follow-up process for it. And that way they can save the time to focus on more growth-related activities.
Awesome. And Anand, last time you had us, we were here in March, you introduced a new enhanced integration, and that included the ability to begin activities and workflows from Pulse360 into Redtail. But now you've taken that even a step further. Tell us more about what you've been working on.
Yeah, so, I was an advisor as well for 2 decades, so I know how, everybody kind of operates their practices. And one of the things that, was always a problem for us was just a lot of the manual work that we were doing or double work sometimes. So when we introduced the activities, you could email out a client, let's say 4 different things to them, and you could have 4 different activities or workflows being automatically triggered or started in Redtail. Well, we took that step further now because we realize if you're running a practice where you have, let's say, next 2 weeks or even the next 3 months worth of meetings booked, and if you're looking at just the meeting prep side, there's sometimes things that different people may need to do in your team, or you may need to remember to do for everybody. It could be, for example, hey, let's make sure we get a tax return in for all the clients that are coming in over the next 2 weeks, for example. Right. And you drop them that email, but then you may want to follow up just because, hey, it's end of the year right now. You want to make sure you can do tax loss harvesting or what have you. So what we did is we said, why don't we look at the next 2 weeks, also maybe all the way to the next 90 days. And with a couple of clicks, you can add agenda items, which then also automatically create the task in Redtail and or workflows, all with a couple of buttons. It could be across 100 different clients if you're having the next, let's say, the whole 2 months are full of meetings for you. So that's what we call the bulk automation that we've brought.
That sounds awesome. Now, we were talking for the call about, again, this end of the year time where advisors are just being overloaded with all kinds of different tasks and things that got to get done before we hit 2022. Yeah. So that sounds really cool, being able to bulk add in tasks and workflows into Redtail from Pulse360. Can you give us a demo on how it works?
Yeah, of course. So let me start with just kind of sharing here. So I'm going to stop your share right there, Austin. So give me a second. So I'm going to walk everybody through here a little bit on the how, and then we'll actually see it being done. So today, when you have as an advisor, there's 3 different stages of your meeting. There's the pre-meeting where you're spending time preparing the agenda and, searching previous notes. So that's today what we're going to focus on. We also do handwritten, and we also figure out about the post-meeting as well. But I want to address the pre-meeting right now. So what we do today, for example, is if you want to put an agenda together, give me 1 second and I'll switch over my sharing here. if we want to share an agenda like this today, what as advisors or the team are doing is saying, okay, let's put this together. And they basically start with a blank template and then start typing, investments. Maybe you have that as a topic already. And then you start formatting and say, okay, we're going to, talk about Roth conversions, for example, and what have you. This is ending up eating quite a bit of your time. And this is just one, right? With all the formatting and everything that you have to do. And that's just for one client. Let's show you kind of how we do this in Pulse with one client. And then I'll show you the bigger part, which is how you can actually automate it for, the next 2 weeks worth of your meetings, for example. So I'll jump over to Pulse360. And in fact, actually, let me start with Redtail first so you can see the deep integrations we have. So here I have James Bond picked up in Redtail, and I created a meeting for annual review. So let's say we're going to be doing an annual review for James Bond now. And so in Pulse, what we do is we automatically bring in those contacts. We also automatically pick up any of those events that you've scheduled in Redtail. And so now I'm here and I can say, okay, I want to prepare an agenda for James Bond. So what I can do is I can go to my library. The library is a place where you can add pre-written note templates so that you can reuse them if it fits with different clients over and over. I'm going to go over into something called the collections, which is something that's just a bunch of notes together, across different topics. So for example, I'm going to do an annual review agenda that I put together, and it has 5 notes in it. So I'm going to go ahead and just click add all. And what that did is now it's prepared 5 separate note agenda items for me. So for example, please provide us a copy of your tax return. We'll review your risk tolerance on this one. And, please bring in your trust documents. Now, let me fill out some of those details. So I'm going to fill out these fields that I know that are different for every client. So here I can say, you know what, I need your 2020 tax return, let's say. And then, as part of file prep, I know one of the things I always used to do is check like, hey, do we have any authorization disclosures? Are they on their file or not? So here I'm going to say, you know what, we do have the authorization on file. And then, we also have B of A as a bank on file. That now I've added 3 pieces of data, and I can go and create a formal looking agenda that you just saw as easily as that, right? There's no formatting issues and all of that. Once you've set this up, you can create any sorts of types of, document. It just feeds in the data. Now, I want to show you the housekeeping one, because you can also have an internal agenda that's only advisor facing, because many a times there are things that the advisor needs to be aware of. So I can click on housekeeping agenda, and very simply now I get the housekeeping notes that, yep, hey, we do have that disclosure on file and the Bank of America is on file. So this prepares something for you as a team. What you can also do is actually email this out. So I can email an agenda out to the clients and just say, by the way, I look forward to speaking with you, and we're going to review your risk tolerance, bring in your 2020 tax return, and please make sure you send us or bring in your trust documents. So that's one element of kind of prepping. But there's a second portion of what you do, right? Which is, well, somebody has to follow up with the client to make sure that tax return they're bringing in or they're sending it in, or the trust document, you do get it. Well, what I did is an automatic task creation. So here is a task that will be created in Redtail, and we'll go check that, which all of these settings, and now this task will be created for my team. And for, to see if we have disclosures on file or not, we have a task as well. So your file prep now all of a sudden can start becoming more structured. You know that every time you have a meeting and you have to check the disclosures, there's a task created for you so that it doesn't, slip through the cracks, for example, right? I've also created a task for following up on the tax return here. And in fact, what I've done is I've also triggered a workflow. This is just a testing one, but if you have a workflow in Redtail you're using, you can actually trigger them. So I'll show you how that works. This is how you can pull up the trigger, all the workflows, and these are being fed directly from Redtail in here. So this is a one-off, right? And the purpose for this, obviously, webinar is to kind of show you how you can make the same for your next 2 weeks worth of meetings or even the next 90-day worth of meetings. So I'll show you that in just a second. Let me go and check the timing here. So we'll jump over to Redtail and I'll refresh. It should be coming in at 3-minute mark. So here's the 3 tasks that just got created, right? Follow up on the tax return, check if we have disclosures, follow up on the trust documents right in here. And if I click in here, I can also see the note that I added for James, for example, that, hey, do we have it on file or not, for example. Now, workflows also got started up right here at the very bottom. So you can see how we're working together with Redtail to automate not only the communications and all of that preparation, but then the tasks and the workflows go back into the powerful engine that Redtail provides you with the activities and the workflows. So that was a one-off scenario. Now I'm going to show you how you can do the same for the next 2 weeks. So this is what we introduced a couple of months ago, where this is what we call the 360 view. At a high level, what this gives you is an overview of your next 15 days worth of meetings and the previous 15 days worth of meetings. So you can see I have all of these. In green are my future meetings, and in blue, as I go through and backwards, are all my past meetings that are showing up. Now, this is a demo environment, so that's why you're seeing all of this. The idea here is to say, okay, let's say, for example, we have, Lindy here, and there's a meeting coming up, but I don't see any agenda prepared. I don't see any follow-ups or nothing is done just yet. And nothing was sent out either. This gives you a very high-level overview. But what we did is we said, let's take advantage of this overview and give you the power to actually apply the agenda items that you saw, the 5 notes that we added for James Bond, across anybody that you're seeing on the screen. So I can literally select all of them. So I'll just select all of them. Now, some of them already have some notes, but we'll go check Lindy afterwards just to see. And also Haley has 0 notes right now, right? And I can go and select all of them. Let me go select actually some in the past as well, just so you can kind of see. Let's go back a couple more steps and we'll go, here we go. So I've selected a bunch of clients. Now what I'm going to do is say, let me apply the collection, which is my agenda for the annual review. So I'm going to say add all. And now what this is telling me is saying, hey, are you sure you want to add 220 notes? 132 tasks will be created and 44 workflows will be triggered for 44 meetings for 22 clients across, because we have double, this is a demo, so we have double meeting for some people. And when I'm going to say yes, it's going to verify, are you positive, right? You want to do this. And just like that, now all of those clients have the notes. So let's go back to Lindy. You can see Lindy's got now 5 notes added, and I can pull it up. And right here now I can see my agenda items for Lindy. So you're getting basically 80% of your work done, because now all you need to do is go into Lindy and fill out the same way I did for James Bond to say, you know what, for Lindy, I need to look at their 2019 tax return. And, for her, we don't have, not on file, for example. And also, let's say as Wells Fargo. This has now created all of this for Lindy, which I can then easily send out an email. Now, Lindy and all the others that we did, I think we did 22 clients, will have all of those tasks automatically created. So I'm going to go pull up Lindy. Hopefully we don't have too much in Lindy already. Let's see, because we use them for demo purposes. So we'll see. Oh, great. I have tons of activities. I'm going to just mark them all complete because I'm going to wait for the new ones that are going to come in about 2 more minutes, because we take 3 minutes for that to sync over. And let me see for workflows. I'll see if I can complete any workflows as well. So you'll see. Let's finish this workflows so that it just is ready for you so you can see when this is actually going to be added. So that's how we enable you to have your meetings and have, the next 2 weeks or even the next 90 days pretty much ready, and making sure you don't, have things that fall through the cracks. So let me just check the timing here. It's in 1 minute, we'll be able to go back and look at these tasks that have been created for Lindy and the others as well. So while I have this, Austin, do you have any questions, or is anything that has come in the chat that I can help answer?
Monitoring the chat and the QA now. I don't see any questions from our audience. I just wanted to say that I did get a chuckle out of the warning messages that come before initiating all of these items. You're about to create 220 notes and such workflows, such as activities, and then are you really sure? So I guess my question, Anat, is what happens if we do get past that second warning message and we go, oh no, I didn't mean to create all those workflows, or I didn't mean to create all those activities in Redtail. Is there any way we can kind of like turn back the clock if we make a mistake?
Yes. So we have built under our audit log system. And so here's the one that we just created. I can go back and undo every step. So it's going to delete all tasks, going to delete all workflows we created. Now, because of compliance, we can't delete the notes, but we add another note to say, by the way, the previous notes are null and void because we deleted them, So yes, literally with me just pressing a couple of buttons right in here, I'm going to refresh and I can say confirm undo, and that's going to remove all of that.
Got it. That's a good catch-all, because my blood pressure went up a little bit seeing all those workflows and all those activities getting created, because we don't want to create any bad data accidentally. So I'm glad that there is a way to undo that if we need to.
Yeah, this is a feature. I don't know if some of you have watched the movie Tenet, which is kind of moving back in time. So this is, I call this the Tenet of our software. Basically, you can move back through time and undo everything. So let's go back and let me refresh, and it should be here. So there you go. All of those 3 tasks that we created are here, as well as the workflow was triggered in Redtail. So this, I'm hoping will, for advisors that have meetings coming up, will save you, a ton of time, just because you can get at least 80%, if not 100% prepped, just like this. And importantly, you want to make sure if you need to check, for something always as part of your file prep, you don't forget those steps for all of your clients.
All right, awesome. And well, I have another question. I just wanted to see if maybe I'm watching the recording here, or I'm joining us live for the first time and I'm not too familiar with Pulse360. Is there anywhere I can go to learn more, or maybe get started?
Yeah, absolutely. So Pulse360.com is where you can go, and you can kind of see some of the videos that we have posted there, as well as you can always schedule a demo from that website as well. And we can then walk through and kind of learn how your practice is running. And we can then show you how Pulse360 can help you streamline and automate the meeting prep and the follow-up portion of this.
Thanks so much for joining us today for this particular session. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call at 800-206-5030, option 3 for support, or just shoot us an email over to support@redtailtechnology.com. Thanks a lot and have a great day.